Hey there, welcome back. My name is Katie if you're new to my channel, and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living. And today we are going to be doing some yummy Christmas treats. It is cooling off here today. The high is only in the 60s. It's getting into the 30s in the mornings, and we are ready for Christmas season around here. And I thought we'd start off by doing a little simmer pot. Sorry, my dishwasher's making some noise. Real life around here. I just did one of these the first time the other day when I was putting my Christmas tree up, and I absolutely loved it. So I thought I'd get that on the stove and have some good Christmas smells while we're making all of our Christmas treats together. So let's get this simmer pot together, and then we will talk about our treats. So let's just get started. I have all my ingredients lined up with my recipes, so once we get started, we can get moving. But first, I want to get the simmer pot together. And it's easy. It's most ingredients we have around our house, especially right now at the holiday time. And these are oranges from my daughter's yard. Actually, they're satsumas. Look at those, how juicy and delicious those are. Very little peel. These peel so easily. Satsumas, if you can grow a satsuma tree, those are so great to have in your yard. So we're just going to get these peeled, or not peeled, sliced. And, you know, your measurements, really, this is just kind of dump and go. There's not any specific measurements for this. It's just whatever you think that you want in your yummy Christmas time smells in your house. And something I totally forgot to get is I have rosemary growing out in my yard, and I need to go get some of that. I just have this piece of lemon that was in my refrigerator. Made a lemon poppy seed cake, put that in there. Let me wash this apple real quick. I bought this one at the store, and actually I don't need to wash it. I'm not eating it. I was gonna say, my son was even asking, why is this apple so shiny? Because I typically buy organic apples. I was like, well, they put a wax coating on them to make them look pretty in the store. So I'm not eating it. I don't care if the wax is on there. Put that in here. Next, I'm going to throw in some cinnamon sticks. There we go. I'm just going to throw 4 in there. Next, I have just some whole cloves. I'm going to throw these in here. And I'm going to go grab some rosemary from the yard, and I'll be right back. In my video, I did about 5 things to save money on doing it at home. One of the things I talked about was growing herbs. This rosemary, we've been in this house for 2 years, and she planted these before we even got here. And they have been growing, and they survive every winter. All right, so now we're gonna add our rosemary to this, and I'm just gonna fill this up with water, put it on my stove, and let it come to a simmer. All right, I just want to show you our Christmas tree real quick. All right. I love my angel on top. We got this Christmas tree at Hobby Lobby. I was really tired of stringing lights every year. So I got this Christmas tree a couple of years ago. Let's see. Just going to show you this ornament real quick. This is a magnolia flower, and it is actually made off the coast here of Louisiana using some fish scales. And then, oh, Gone with the Wind's one of my favorite movies. And then down here, let's see, where did it go? Here it is. I have my blue crab. It's my Louisiana Christmas tree, my chili peppers, lots of nativities around in my house right now. All right, we're going to turn around and look at my mantle. Can't look at the mantle without looking down here at, here's Coda enjoying the scenery. All my stockings here are made by my mother-in-law. And then the one down here is my father-in-law, and then my son-in-law. So this is our mantle here. All right, let's get to cooking. So I totally forgot to add my cranberries to my simmer pot, so I went on and added those. So those are over there simmering away. So the first thing we're going to do is, actually let me preheat my oven to 350 degrees. So the first thing we're going to do is make some red velvet crinkle cookies. And these just have a few simple ingredients, and hopefully they're super tasty because I love red velvet. So let me go ahead and get everything we need for this. There's a couple of things that I wanted to get out that I forgot. I need to get a measuring cup, so I'll get that. All right, so we have our oven preheated to 350 degrees, and really we're just gonna mix everything in our mixer, and it starts off with a red velvet cake mix. And I actually thought about making my own and using a non-artificial food dye. Does that make sense? Dye-free food dye, which is beet extract basically, but I knew it wouldn't come out with the really red, bright Christmas color we want, so I went on and opted for the cake mix. So we're dumping everything in our mixer, and red velvet cake is chocolate with a hint of coconut. So for the vegetable oil, I'm actually going to be using coconut oil. I have some liquid coconut oil, and this is what I'm going to use for my vegetable oil. So we need 1/3 cup of this, or whatever kind of oil you want to use. It has such a very light coconut smell, probably taste, so we're going to use that. But I'm also going to boost that up and do a little tiny splash of some coconut extract. You, of course, can leave this out. Not much, just a touch. Then we're going to do 2 eggs. I actually had to buy eggs this week. Even though I have, I would say 24 chickens, one of them's a rooster. They're pretty much all molting right now, and I'm only getting like 1 or 2 eggs a day. So I actually had to buy eggs for the first time in about 1.5 years. All right, this is all of our ingredients. We'll get this mixed together. All right, that just took maybe a minute to come together. It says the batter will be thick, which it is, but okay. Let me see. Yeah, it's thick. All right. I just want to make sure it wasn't going to kind of like, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, just kind of ooze out. All right, so next thing we're going to do is, let me get a clean spoon now. We're going to take some powdered sugar, and this is what we're going to roll our balls of cookie dough in so that we get that crinkle effect. Let me grab my cookie sheet. I just wanted to show you we've come to a simmer and how pretty does that look. When you have company over for your holiday parties, your Christmas parties, they'll be impressed. All right, I think I'm gonna use a cookie scoop for this. And what I'm gonna do is just drop them into the powdered sugar. This way they're all about the same size. You're just going to roll them in the sugar and then place them on your cookie sheet. All right, I'm going to get all these rolled out, and then we will get these in the oven. All right, that recipe made 22 cookies. They're about 2 tablespoons, I think that scooper is. And let's see, 8 to 10 minutes, and cookies will be slightly brown on the edge. So let me set the timer because I don't want to forget that. All right, we will clean up this mess and we'll get back with our next treat. We are going to be doing some candied pecans. I'm trying to get all the baking stuff done so we can do other projects while the ones are baking. So we're going to do the candied pecans next. All right, so next is our candied pecans. My other cookies came out of the oven while I was getting everything together for that, and so they're cooling right now. So in our mixing bowl here, we're going to add 1 egg white. I did lower the temperature of my oven to 300 degrees. So we have 1 egg white, and then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of water. And I love that my immersion blender comes with a beater attachment. So we're going to beat our egg whites until they are light and fluffy. Let's see. Actually, I'm sorry, stiff peaks. That's what we want, stiff peaks. So we're going to get this blended. All right, we're at stiff peaks. You can see how they're just staying right there where they're at. And next, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to this and then just mix that real quick. I think my teaspoons of vanilla are always a generous helping teaspoon of vanilla. So we'll mix this together. All right. And then to this, we are going to fold in our 1.5 cups of pecans. And then in a separate small bowl, we're going to mix 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, a tablespoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There's our salt. Let me grab a tablespoon real quick for my cinnamon. I've also seen where people will put some cayenne pepper in their candied pecans. So if you want to do something like that, you could add that. But we're just going to keep it with cinnamon and vanilla. We'll mix this together. And then we're going to pour this right over our pecans. And now mix this together. Then we're going to spread this on our baking sheet, and we're going to put these in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. And we're going to give them a few little tosses along the way, just so they don't burn. I'm sorry, 12, we'll do 15 minutes, then we'll toss it, and then do another 12 to 15 minutes. So 30 minutes-ish total. All right, let me grab my baking sheet. Oops. All right, let's get these in the oven. All right, 300 degrees, 15 minutes. We'll give them a stir and then put them in for another 12 to 15 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get all this mess cleaned up and we'll move on to our next treat. Okay, so our next recipe is going to be peppermint Oreo truffles or balls, whatever you want to call them. And so what I did was I took 36 Oreos, ran them through my food processor to make like crumbs here. So I have those in my mixing bowl. And then to this, we're going to add an 8-ounce container of cream cheese. I took this out of my fridge this morning to get it softened. All right, we're gonna put that in here. And to this, we're going to add a teaspoon of peppermint extract, not spearmint. And I think even if it just says mint, it might be spearmint, but we're doing peppermint. So about a teaspoon of that. And we're going to mix this until we get a dough. All right, so we have our dough. We're gonna get this into ball form next. All right, I just wanna show you, this is what our pecans are looking like. And I'm just gonna give them a nice flip here. Now it said to use foil and spray it with cooking spray, but I thought when I was using parchment, I didn't really need to use the cooking spray, but it is kind of sticking a little bit. I think it'll be fine, but if you wanted to use some foil with cooking spray or cooking spray on your parchment, you certainly could. All right, we're gonna spread these back out and we'll put these back in the oven. They smell amazing. I absolutely love cinnamon. I know I've told y'all that a few times. All right, let's get these back in the oven for about 12 to 15 more minutes, it said. Just want to make sure they're in a single layer. All right, I'm so excited about these. So I'm gonna get these back in the oven and then we'll roll out our Oreo truffles. All right, this is the pan I used to bake those crinkle cookies in. I'm not worried about this powdered sugar on here. We have Oreos. Powdered sugar will be fine. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use our cookie scoop, same one we used earlier. And we're gonna make little balls. So I'm gonna get all these formed into balls, and then we're gonna get these in the fridge or freezer just to get them to firm up so that we can coat them. You can smell the peppermint. All right, I'm gonna get all these done and we'll come back and make our last treat. And then after that, we will get these coated because we're gonna make our last treat while these are firming up in the fridge. All right, so we've completely finished 2 of our treats and we're gonna move on to our 3rd one while our Oreo balls are chilling in the fridge. So I have popped 2 bags of microwave popcorn. And to this, if you saw my Reese's extravaganza, I did a popcorn that was using Reese's Pieces, and I'm kind of basing this off of that, making this up as I go. I went to the store, just bought some things that sounded pretty good to me, mixed together, but on a Christmas theme. So we have 2 bags of microwave popcorn, and then I have these pretzel goldfish I'm gonna add to this. And like I said, I'm just making this up, so I'm dumping what I think looks good. I see a popcorn seed. All right, and to that we're gonna add some just peanuts here, roasted peanuts. And then I have just some regular red and green plain M&Ms here. I'll add some of that. We'll add the whole bag of that. And then next, I was wanting to some mint aspect to this. So I found these. I saw online they had an Andes white, almost the same as this, but it was like the Andes brand. Couldn't find those at the store, so I bought these Ghirardelli ones. And I took 12 of those and I chopped them up here in some pretty big chunks like this. We're gonna dump this in. And then next I melted some almond bark chocolate. Let me show you a package. This is what we're gonna be using for our Oreo truffles also. So this almond bark, melted this. I did it on 2-minute increments at 50% power. and stirred it in between. You don't want to burn chocolate. Chocolate can burn pretty easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle this and toss it. And then next, my hands are covered in chocolate. Just got some red, white, and green sprinkles here. I'm gonna sprinkle these on here. And then I got also some just green sanding sugar. I'll sprinkle some of that in here. We'll give this some more tosses. And that was it for that. That was pretty quick and easy. This would be great for Christmas parties. I'm giving out as gifts. You could put this in a mason jar after it sets up, kind of cools, and give it as a gift. I wouldn't make it too far in advance because the popcorn would probably kind of get soft from the chocolate. So that's our third treat completely finished, and we're going to move on to the Oreo balls. And we'll just move, when those are ready, we'll get those going. Okay, so our Oreo balls have been in the refrigerator. They're really firm now. You could put them in the freezer if you want to do it quicker, but I had time to put them in the fridge, and my sheet pan honestly does not fit in my freezer. So these are nice and cold and firm. I have done the same. I've done 1 pack of the white or vanilla almond bark. Probably could have used only half a pack for this now that I'm looking at it. And I did put a probably about 1/8 of a cup of the coconut oil so that we're a lot thinner so that it would coat well. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of peppermint. Ooh, wow. That's going to be real pepperminty because I did not mean to do that much. We're going to add some peppermint extract to this to bring out that peppermint flavor. All right, and I'm going to use 2 forks, and I'm going to dip these in the chocolate. And set them over here. And then what we're going to do, let me get a second one done, and I'll show you. I have some candy canes I have crushed up, so we'll sprinkle that on. Or I have some different Christmas sprinkles that actually have pink in them. You could put some little sprinkles on top. Especially if you have kids, they would probably prefer the sprinkles. Adults might prefer the candy cane. So let's get these done. And then this is our last treat, and we can do a taste test. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm gonna get all these covered, and then we will do a taste test. All right, so here's all of our yummy treats that we're gonna taste test. Like I said about the popcorn, I also put the candy pecans in a mason jar. These would be a great gift for Christmas. I haven't put the lid on them yet because they're still cooling off and I don't want them to sweat. So I have the lid off, little tip there. All right, I'm not even sure what I want to taste test first. Let's go with the pecans. They're almost like a, so at Easter time I did a resurrection cookie. It's almost like that because it's like a meringue, very crispy, soft. I know those don't really go together, but it's kind of like crispy, soft, but cinnamon. Can't lie. I already tried these. That's why I knew they were crispy and soft. You can hear that crunch. The cinnamon, so good. Love those. All right. So these are red velvet crinkle cookies. I have powdered sugar everywhere. Mmm. Mmm. Those are good. Soft inside. Those are good. It's not very coconut forward. So even though I put coconut extract in there, they, even though I put the coconut extract in them, they're very definitely chocolatey, not so much coconutty. I actually probably, for me personally, would probably put a little bit more coconut extract in there. All right, next we're gonna try our popcorn. See the M&Ms and the sprinkles, all the yumminess. Let's see. This is a good bite here. It's got a lot of everything. It's a big bite though. Sorry. Even though I just made that, I forgot the peppermint bark was in there. That is so good. The salty and the sweet, that is so good. Alrighty, next is our last, but not least, our Oreo truffles. Let's give this a taste. Mmm. Mmm. Mm. That is good. That is rich. And we have a good combo here of some cinnamon and some peppermint and some chocolate, different treats to try out at Christmas time. And I think I'm gonna make a Christmas playlist to go that I'll post at the end of this video. There'll be a button here that you can hit my logo to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And then I'll put a playlist over here and I'll make a Christmas playlist. Last year I did a couple of videos on Christmas cookies and treats. So those will be in the playlist. If you missed my previous episode, I did a Little Debbie cake copycat, but in like big cake form. So that'll be in there. So it'll be my videos from last year, videos this year. I'll put them all in one playlist so you can watch all those if you want to get some ideas for your gift giving this Christmas holiday season. And I hope you give these recipes a try and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.